Welcome to Tent Talk, the podcast with Nancy McCready, where we talk about life under the big tent of God's presence and the provoking process of discipleship. Here we go.
Hey everybody, welcome to Tent Talk. This is Nancy McCready. We're continuing with the hidden symphony of preparation. We need to know that structure can lead to great spontaneous life with the Godhead. We need to understand that getting away with Him is our truest desire and will not be done just by religious duty. We need to know that it is not the outward form as much as it is the inward conversations we're going to learn to have with Him, because He has much that He wants to say to you. So, sit with Him, talk with Him, let Him speak to you in your private practice room, and there is going to be a mighty sound of sons that is being released out of that private place into the public arenas of all cultures of life, in all facets of life. Oh, He's on the move. Let's stay with Him and let Him prepare us in our private practice room. I love you all. It's been said that three of the greatest things that the enemy loves to use against us when we determine in our hearts to go deeper with the Father is he uses noise and hurry and busyness and crowds and being with lots of people and needing to be with lots of people and hating being alone. And though I don't like to give the enemy a whole lot of credit, let's just honestly state that he uses those things that in our independence from the Father, we have come to hate them so much, being alone, silence, that we keep trying to fill ourselves. We don't like the silence because then maybe things rise to the surface. And then I think also is that we really don't know how to interact with the Father, to relate. What do I do? Do I put on music? Do I read this? Should I just come in and feel spiritual immediately when I wake up? And for some of you, you may think, Nancy, that's trivial. I'm way past that. Well, for all of those who are not, or for those who, like me, are facing certain things at new depths as I go in with the Father, sometimes it can be that you've just become comfortable in what you already know, what you can already do. So I've said on previous episodes that we are being trained up in a 24/7 lifestyle, a deep abiding within. And we didn't put ourselves in the abiding position. We are not responsible to make everything happen. But as I've stated before, by our will, we get to choose to be silent even when it's uncomfortable. We can choose to speak as we hear Him asking us things. But many times the simplicity is lost because of all the flurry of activity within. But when you do make the decision to say, Father, though I abide with you all the time, I'm never out of your presence. We are one. I know there are concentrated times, whether it's 5 minutes or an hour or whatever the time frame may be, where you want to speak to me. And I want to remind you in this very simple episode today that one of the greatest things that you'll ever meditate upon, that you'll ever know, is He loves you. And sometimes it can be as simple as, Father, I'm going to let you love me today. And I spoke on previous episodes about, having to tear down this myth of a quiet time, that it becomes such a law that the love of the Father gets completely lost. Is that He created you, made you new in Christ, so that you could be 100% compatible with Him. Not so you could perform for Him, not so that you could follow a list of religious rules and thereby gain some sense of rightness. No. He has said to you, come closer, sit with me. And to learn to be relaxed in His presence. And let's say you do have a favorite chair. I have one in my office. I have one out in the living room of my ministry house. I have places in my own home. And they do represent many a conversation, tears shed, silence endured, shouts let out, right? But I know that I am with Him always. And when I do have time and make time to sit with Him, when I get up and begin to walk about, it's not as though I've left Him. I don't only have, quote, that feeling only when I'm sitting in that chair. I shared with someone recently something I've shared many times, so it may not be new to you, but knowing, my friends, trumps feeling. And when God is trusting you in silence, when God is weaning you from the felt presence to the known presence, that is a very powerful sign of maturing. Because I know, not just in my head, I'm not talking about just an intellectual knowing, I know He brought me into oneness with Him. He and I are close. I am not falling in and out of Him. I may go in and out of conscious awareness as I do other things, as I am talking with other people, but more and more, as you spend time with Him, He makes Himself known to you. And in the next episode, I'm going to talk about some of the ways that He can make Himself known, and it doesn't feel, quote, very spiritual, because there are some structured things that you can do to launch yourself out when you wake up in the mornings and you feel less than spiritual. You're like, am I saved? I feel pretty funky this morning. Am I saved? Why, yes, I am. Because my salvation isn't based on how I feel at any given moment. It's based on Him and His trustworthiness. And yet there are things that we can do that get us started. So I think I'll stop here and share those in the next episode, because again, I don't want to give any formulas, but if it could help someone as it's helped me, then I would want to share them. All right. And if you don't have a good devotional book, I'm going to share in the next episode a little bit of what I read and what has been so very helpful to me over the years. All right? Because some of us need more structure than others. And never should we be ashamed of any of those things. We're learning, my friends. We are lifelong learners of His lifestyle. And it pleases the Father that you would believe Him. Take your place with Him. And let Him mature you by His love. So, this is the hidden symphony of preparation, my friends. In the private practice room, we want to flourish in private and eventually in public. All right. I love you all. Wow. I love jumping on at the end of this episode and saying again how much I love sharing with you what God is doing in me, what He's doing through NMM, and hoping and praying that it truly is provoking you. I want to let you know now about other opportunities that are coming up. On November 15th, I will host a private online event, The Vault, and this time it will be 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. So I hope that you'll go ahead, put that on your calendar now. It's a Friday, and it's before all of the holiday rush, and I'm really looking forward to talking about how we deepen in this private practice room that I talk about, how we deepen in our dependency upon Him if we're really going to mature as sons. So I hope that you'll make plans now, watch our social media, and as soon as you see the registration links coming up for the Vault on November 15th, then click on them. Also, you can watch here in the show notes of our podcast episodes. You'll begin to see that link show up, and you can click on it there and begin to get ready, because all of the cost for that goes straight into the NMM budget, and it allows us to be able to do what we're doing. And boy, are we ramping up for 2025. So I want to thank you in advance, because once you sign up for the Vault, you're not paying to be discipled. You're not paying me. What you're really doing is becoming a very important part of our big family of partners here at NMM, and you're helping us to do everything that we do. So in that heart, I want to also thank all of our financial partners in the Iowa, Nebraska area. Sharon N., Becky K., Joe S., Tammy N., Karen S., and our big corporate partner, Remnant Fellowship of Council Bluffs, Iowa. I want to say a big thanks to Chad and Chris for all that they are doing in the hidden place. All of these people are allowing God to do what He does in their lives. My friends, do we understand yet that it's not going to be just the big names? It's all of us, the nameless, faceless people who are simply allowing the Father to do in us what He's going to do. If I could be so bold as to say, where's the next move of God going to be? My friends, God is moving in you. That's where it is. It's in you. So stay with Him, and let's continue on this journey together. So I love that you're here with me on Tent Talk Podcast, but I hope to also see you November 15th on The Vault. Love you all.